Give me a second. Okay, so I came from my first arena battle and I won, as you can see. With the money that I got, I bought new equipment. This is my new preset, and I bought good armor, as you can see, a nice helmet. Huh? It's nice. I didn't have enough money for a weapon, so I got this one. But it's fine. It's fine. I have a vest. I have meds. You see? Huh? Huh? You don't really need a weapon, right? You don't, right? Okay, I gotta be honest. I didn't spend the money on any of this. I just grabbed it from the trash. I spent it on sneakers. I was hungry and they sold sneakers, so I just bought a few, you know, maybe more than a few. You know, there's no meds in here. It's just, let me show you. It's just sneakers. It's all sneakers. I wasted all my money on sneakers. You know, seriously now, let's talk about arena. You know, is it good? Is it bad? My opinion in general about it, and some changes I'd like to see. First of all, let me take off this. So let's talk about arena. Again, the good, the bad, all my opinions and stuff. I want to explain before I start that these are my opinions and your opinions might change quite a bit, but let's see, because I think there's something interesting in there, but there are also a lot of flaws as well. Right, so right now, I think it's still in CBT, which no, it doesn't mean cock and ball torture this time. It means closed beta testing, although sometimes it feels like the former. First of all, the matches are short and sweet, kind of like Splatoon, but listen to me, I don't want any Splatoon fan raging right now. Normally, matches in competitive games are super long and tedious, like 40 minutes on average of playing and dying over and over and over again. So 15 minutes or so of short and sweet action is just, for me, the best right now that you could do, because it lets you take breaks in between games more frequently, and if you get tired you can stop before you have to play like 40 more minutes, right? If you get tired on match 2, there's not a lot of game left, so you can finish it and just stop kind of quickly. Another thing right off the bat is that the map design is really great. I think the maps look and feel really good to play, but it also depends heavily in which preset you're using. We'll talk about that later. And also, maybe if you really wanted, I could rank the maps from best to worst, also best to worst depending on preset. If you're into that kind of stuff, just let me know. But for example, the Sawmill for long-range weapons is really fun and really good, but the Maul is really terrible. Right now there's only competitive mode, so treat that as the casual mode, because people are just trying to level up or trying to test new presets or just having fun in general. So don't try to really win or feel bad for losing, because people are just all over the place. Okay, so 2v2 and 3v3 maps are really confusing, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on until I had a few matches, because turns out that it's kind of like tournament style. So you're not really playing all the time, you are playing a few matches against an opponent, and then you get points and other teams play, and you just watch them play, then it's the best two teams playing against each other, either to a best of 5 or I think a best of 3, I'm not sure. Also, when you're spectating the other teams play, you have kind of like a lobby where you have food and drinks that you can use, and you can watch the entire map from above, and also you have a tool to watch from their perspective as well. But the problem is that you cannot really see which team is losing or winning because there's no scoreboard, or at least I don't think so. If it is, it's really hard to find and not intuitive at all. So the game really needs that right now. Another thing that the game really needs, like right now, is to know which team you are on, either by giving a red or blue tint, depending on your team, of the silhouette that your character has on the lower left, you know, the one that tells you if you're standing, crouched, or prone. I don't know, they need to put something to remind you who to shoot. Like tint the entire screen blue if you really want to. I don't care, but the game really needs to remind you which team you're on, especially after playing a few rounds or a few matches, because after a while you don't know who to shoot anymore, and you just start shooting at random. This one also is kind of a nitpick that might be just me as well, but you cannot customize the healing items or anything before starting to play. So your healing items, I think they have randomized buttons, or at least buttons that BSG thinks you should use for those items. But I personally have a very set way to set those items. So I really need to put those items in the quick slots that I really want to and have it saved there. I don't think it saves, but I'm not really sure, because every time I played or I changed presets, the buttons were different than the ones that I set. Oh, and by the way, you can communicate with teammates. You have kind of like a radio, a team radio, besides the normal VoIP, but you cannot hear your teammates at all.
Get off me, you fucking slag.
They sound super muffled and super low, so it's kind of useless right now. The game is clearly Tarkov, like normal Tarkov, with some things pasted on top right now, because you have to make a character that you aren't really using, because you're using pre-made presets and you cannot make your own presets, at least right now, and we'll talk about that later. The end raid sound it plays every time you finish a match even though it has their own sounds, and you still have the soft skills like recoil control and all of that, but I'm not sure if they're even in use or if it's just something that they used from normal Tarkov and they're not going to use in Arena. On the other side, I like that you can select not only the game modes that you want, but also the maps as well. So you can select some game modes or all the game modes or only one, depending on what you want. So it's really great. Basically, I like that you can choose the maps that you want to play, depending on your preference or the presets you want to use. Now let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this review. Let's talk about the important stuff, you know, the presets. For starters, I really liked all the presets that I used. I never felt really cheated when playing. I always felt like I wasn't doing good. Don't look at my KD, look at me now. Look at me. Don't see my KD. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Look at me. Focus on my review. Don't look at my KD. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't. Like, I swear I had a good time. It's fine. Don't look at my KD. Look at me. Look at my review. Look at this. Don't look at my KD. Shh. Don't say anything. It's fine. That being said, some presets are objectively better than others. Like, objectively better than others. Even on the same level, so a lot more balancing is needed right now. Also, I'd like more presets and the ability to create your own preset. Maybe with a gear score, you know? The number that appears on the top left of all the presets, depending on your rank or level, allowing you to get weapons, items, mods, and all of that up to that score. On that note, I know a lot of people hate the unlocking system. I really think it's fine, but I hate that you don't really have a use for the presets that are already unlocked. When a path just ends, it's kind of pointless to keep playing with that preset because that XP is getting lost. You don't really get XP for a different path if you play with those presets. And I think it would be good if presets would give you XP for the entire branch, you know, the entire section, like snipers and or close quarters combat or anything like that, or even let you pick a path that you want to unlock and let you get XP for that. Then maybe even implement something like Wall of Tanks, where you gain XP for the next step on the path, but you also gain global XP and you can convert that local XP to global XP as well. It's kind of odd, the system, but I think it will be way better than the system that they have right now. What I mean is that I want a system that encourages players to play with those presets, but not really forces them to play those presets, because forcing someone to play something they don't want or they don't like just so they can unlock something that they want is kind of a bit bad, to be honest. Also, another thing is that maybe in 5v5 or 3v3 or I'm not sure which game mode, but it would be cool if you could reduce the cost of the presets, but they force you, or maybe let you choose to buy a preset every single round to add variety to the game. That will make the game more dynamic or entertaining. I'm not sure, maybe just in unranked mode or something, I don't know. I think it will be fun. And by the way, the EOD early access that was promised was a pretty big shit show, to be honest. There's not really anything to comment on that. It was just disappointing. Honestly, I feel like Arena right now is really fun to play. It's a really great introduction to Tarkov's PvP mechanics, but I don't really see it as a competitive game. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of competitive games that are way better at being competitive right now, that they are as close as 50% win rate depending on the team as possible and things like that. And Tarkov is very far from that. So I think Tarkov is a really good arena without the capital A this time, where you can have fun, unlock stuff and destroy some poor bastards without having to play factory or labs all the time. That being said, right now, Arena feels like going into a factory match in normal Tarkov. It's just a bunch of people with random weapons, random armor, and things like that. And it's really fun because you can find someone running and gunning people with just a pistol, or you can have people fully decked out, fully dicked out with M4s and the best armor and destroying everyone, or you can have just people running around with snipers, just one-shotting, trying to one-shot people all the time. It's really fun. It feels really dumb fun. Pestily said in his review of Arena that the game might be really fun to play with friends, but anything is really fun to play with friends. And while I agree with that, I think Arena is a bit different. You know, like Arena has a little bit, like an extra point for that. I really can see Arena being really fun to just mess around and pick a bunch of random presets, or be with your friends and just pick all pistol presets or dumb fun like that and have a really great time with your friends. Like, for example, going hunting with double barrel shotguns, or going sniping just with the snipers, or things like that that might be really, really fun to do with friends. I say that, but I don't really have any friends to play Arena right now. I don't want to delve too deep into the competitiveness of Arena, but I really don't think Arena is a really, really competitive game right now, because it's really hard to see if what you're looking at is an enemy or an ally, while other competitive games, they have a really easy way to see if what you're looking at is a friend or an enemy. Like Counter-Strike, cities and terrorists are very easily distinguishable from each other. And I'd like to expand more on this, maybe on another video. But this loops back to the point that I was trying to make before, that you don't really know who you're shooting at. So you either get extra careful and think about it for a while, or you just blast someone without thinking about it. Also, I had an entire rant about the time for capturing the objective, that it was too low and all of that, but they changed that, so I'm really glad they did. They upped the time for capture, so you don't really need to rush to capture the area or defend it so the other team won't capture it. Outside of the matches, ranks are fine, but I feel really weird that there's like the 10 best people in Arena or the best Arena player. I feel like that leads a little bit more to cheating or hyper competitiveness rather than a healthy competitive ecosystem. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong with this one, it's just my opinion. Also, I wrote this when the game came out in December, and at that moment the matchmaking was a little bit weird. You could get matched with people that had super strong presets that were way above your level. But right now the matches I've been playing have been with presets kind of similar to mine, you know, with the level pretty similar to the one that I picked. So take this with a grain of salt, because that's my experience. But I think they may be improving their matchmaking. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm lying. Again, this has been just my experience, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong. In the end, to quote Pestily again, he gave Arena a 4 out of 10, and I think it's quite higher than that. I'm not going to give it a score in specific, but I think it's a really fun experience and a really great game mode and game in general. I've been having a lot of fun unlocking presets and playing against people and all of that, but again, I have to reiterate that I don't think this game is a very competitive game. I'm playing this game very casually and very fun and in a very friendly way. I'm not playing this game to get high on ranks and to destroy enemies and to get good at it. I'm just playing it for fun. So maybe if you are looking for a highly competitive game and you don't know if you should play Arena, in my opinion, you shouldn't. But if you're looking to have a lot of fun and just blast some people and get blasted and all of that, and you just don't want to play normal Tarkov, but you want the feel that Tarkov gives you, I think this is a great game mode. And that's pretty much it. If you got to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I don't really have a lot of subscribers, so I would be really grateful if you subscribed. I don't usually do that, so it's kind of a bit awkward, to be honest. But that's it. If you like more videos like this where I dress up and talk shit about games, please let me know. And maybe if you want some game in specific to be covered in a way like this, just tell me, comment or something. And that's pretty much it. See ya!